At 73 years old, when my husband Robert died, I discovered his son from his first marriage had forged a new will leaving everything to himself. Marcus convinced the probate court I was too old and confused to contest it, took my home, emptied our joint accounts, and tried to evict me from the house I'd lived in for 25 years. He thought a grieving elderly widow wouldn't have the strength to fight. He was wrong. I'm a retired forensic document examiner who spent 40 years detecting forgeries for the FBI. This is the story of how I proved his fraud and sent him to federal prison. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you never miss revenge stories like this. My name is Patricia Williams, and I'm 73 years old. 2 years ago, my husband Robert died at 76 from complications of diabetes. We'd been married for 28 years, a second marriage for both of us. Robert had a son, Marcus, from his first marriage. Marcus was 48, never married, and had always resented me. From the day Robert and I got married, Marcus made it clear he thought I was a gold digger who'd stolen his father. The truth was, Robert and I met when we were both widowed and in our late 40s. We built a life together. We bought a house together. We saved and invested together. Everything we had, we built as a team. Robert made a will 5 years before he died. It was clear I would inherit everything: the house, the savings, his pension benefits. After I died, whatever remained would go to Marcus. It was fair and made sense. When Robert died, I was devastated. 28 years of marriage gone in an instant. But I had our home, our savings, and the comfort of knowing Robert had provided for me. Then Marcus showed up at my door 2 weeks after the funeral with a lawyer and papers. "Patricia, Dad changed his will 6 months before he died. Everything goes to me now. You have 60 days to vacate this house." I was shocked. That's impossible. Robert never mentioned changing his will. He did. Here's the will, properly witnessed and notarized. Dad wanted his estate to go to his blood family, not his second wife. The will Marcus showed me looked official. Robert's signature was on it. It stated that Marcus would inherit everything immediately upon Robert's death. I would get nothing. "Robert would never do this," I said, tears streaming down my face. Dad was sick. "He realized family comes first. Now you need to leave." I was devastated, but something didn't feel right. Robert and I had talked about the will many times. He'd always said, "You'll be taken care of, Pat. The house is yours. Marcus gets what's left after you're gone." I took the will Marcus had presented to my attorney, James Mitchell. James had been Robert's and my attorney for 15 years. "James, Robert didn't change his will, did he?" James looked confused. "No. The will on file with me is the one from 5 years ago, leaving everything to you." Where did this come from? "Marcus brought it with his lawyer." James examined it carefully. "Patricia, this looks legitimate at first glance. It's notarized, witnessed, properly formatted. But I know for a fact Robert never came to me to change his will. Let me investigate." While James investigated the legal side, I did something Marcus didn't know about. Before I retired, I spent 40 years as a forensic document examiner for the FBI. I specialized in detecting forgeries, fake signatures, altered documents, counterfeit papers. I examined the will Marcus had presented. Within an hour, I knew it was fake. Robert's signature was forged. It was good, very good, but I could see the hesitation marks, the subtle differences in pressure, the slightly wrong angle on certain letters. Someone had practiced Robert's signature and forged it on this document. The notary stamp also looked suspicious. I called the notary whose name appeared on the document. She'd never notarized any will for Robert Williams. Her stamp had been stolen 6 months earlier. Marcus had forged the entire will using a stolen notary stamp. I didn't confront Marcus immediately. Instead, I gathered evidence. I contacted a forensic lab that specialized in document analysis. They confirmed what I already knew. Robert's signature was forged. They could prove it through ink analysis, pressure patterns, and comparison with genuine signatures. I also discovered that Marcus had done this before. During his first divorce 10 years ago, he'd forged financial documents to hide assets. He'd been caught but avoided prison by settling. Marcus was a repeat forger, and now he'd targeted me. James filed an emergency motion to stop the probate process. Your Honour, we have evidence this will is forged. We request a full investigation. Marcus's lawyer objected. My client has a valid will. Mrs. Williams is elderly and confused from grief. She's making baseless accusations. The judge ordered an independent forensic examination of both wills, the one Marcus presented and the genuine one from 5 years earlier. The results came back 3 weeks later. The will Marcus presented was definitively a forgery. The signature didn't match Robert's genuine signature patterns. The notary stamp was stolen. The paper was purchased just 3 months before Robert died, not 6 months earlier as Marcus claimed. Marcus had fabricated the entire will. The judge ordered Marcus to appear in court. I was there, along with James and a prosecutor from the district attorney's office. Mr. Williams, the judge said, the forensic evidence shows conclusively that the will you presented is a forgery. Your father's signature was faked using a stolen notary stamp. Do you have an explanation? Marcus's confident demeanour crumbled. There must be some mistake. Dad gave me that will. Maybe someone forged it without my knowledge. Mr. Williams, you're the one who presented this will. You're the one who benefits from it, and you have a prior conviction for forgery from 10 years ago. The prosecutor stood up. Your Honour, the state is filing criminal charges against Marcus Williams for forgery, fraud, attempted theft, and elder abuse. Marcus was arrested right there in the courtroom. Marcus's trial took place 6 months later. The evidence was overwhelming. The forensic document examiner testified about the forged signature. The notary testified that her stamp had been stolen and she'd never notarized any will for Robert. I testified about my 40 years of experience detecting forgeries and how I'd immediately recognized the fake. Mrs. Williams, the prosecutor asked me, how did it feel when your stepson tried to steal your inheritance? Betrayed. Robert and I built our life together. Marcus tried to steal everything we worked for and leave me homeless at 73. He thought I was just a confused old widow who wouldn't notice a forgery. He forgot I spent 40 years catching people like him. Marcus's lawyer tried to claim he'd been given the forged will by an unknown person and didn't know it was fake. But Marcus couldn't explain who gave it to him or why he didn't question its authenticity. The jury convicted him on all charges. The judge sentenced Marcus to 6 years in federal prison. Mr. Williams, you forged legal documents to steal from your elderly stepmother while she was grieving. You have a history of forgery. You are a danger to vulnerable people. 6 years in federal prison. The probate court validated Robert's genuine will. I inherited everything as Robert intended. The house stayed mine. The savings stayed mine. Everything Robert wanted me to have was protected. Marcus is now 2 years into his 6-year sentence. He tried to appeal, claiming the evidence was insufficient. The appeal was denied. I still live in the home Robert and I shared. Every room holds memories of our 28 years together. Marcus tried to take that away from me, but he failed. I've also started volunteering with a local legal aid organisation that helps elderly people with estate disputes. I teach workshops on recognizing forged documents and protecting yourself from inheritance fraud. Elder financial abuse often comes from family, I tell audiences. Children, stepchildren, nieces, nephews. They see an elderly person as vulnerable. But age doesn't mean helpless. I'm 73 and I have 40 years of FBI experience. Marcus learned that the hard way. Marcus will be released when he's 54. He'll have no inheritance, a felony conviction, and a stepmother who defeated him using skills he didn't know she had. People sometimes ask if I feel guilty about sending my husband's son to prison. The answer is no. Marcus tried to steal my home and my financial security. He forged legal documents and tried to leave me destitute at 73. He deserves every day of that sentence. I'm 73 years old. I'm a retired forensic document examiner. I'm a widow who lost the love of her life. And I'm a woman who fought back when someone tried to rob me of everything Robert and I built together. Marcus thought my age made me vulnerable. He learned that age brings expertise, and expertise is power.